If you are currently waiting online to speak at public input, can you please press the raise hand button now, and we'll call on you when public input begins.
For tonight's city council meeting. First on our agenda are a couple items for pre-council. The first one is the introduction of Dr. Robert Billington, and to congratulate him on his retirement and thank him for his undying service to the city of Pawtucket. So, Bob, would you come forward? I know the mayor is here. He'd like to say a couple words. I'm sure he's going to echo what we're thinking.
Good evening, Council President, Council. Listen, Bob has been a great asset, continues to be an asset. I was doing a little bit of research and I've always known that.
Okay, big mouth. Sorry. How can you not hear me? So Bob Billington is Mr. BV's TC, which we all know. He's worked hard for the Blackstone Valley. I was doing a little research to have a little fun with him tonight. And what I didn't realize, and I remembered when I read it, but it says that he's a descendant of the Mayflower. I think he was on the Mayflower. That's how long he's been here. But all seriousness, he's done so much for Pawtucket, so much for our community, and so much for the Blackstone Valley investment, and focusing where a lot of folks did not focus in, talking about how important our waterfront is or how tourism is and the things. So we just wanted to collectively thank you, Bob, for all of your years of service. And I know that the council has a proclamation that we have here, but the esteemed clerk is going to read it, and then we have a little gift from all of us. So, Rick?
Hey, just so you know, I've known Bob for 40 years, so I can verify that everything in this thing is absolutely true. Okay. Whereas, the city of Pawtucket is proud to recognize those individuals who have a vision for the future and the wherewithal to make it happen, which brings new life, excitement, and a great sense of pride to our city, and in this case, to our valley. And whereas for years in Rhode Island, when people spoke of tourism, they spoke of Newport, Narragansett, and Providence. Notice the Blackstone Valley is not on that list. That is, until Bob Billington got rolling. And whereas, since founding the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council in 1985, Bob has been Northern Rhode Island's most impactful visionary, effusive cheerleader, and ardent promoter, with an optimistic, never quit attitude, so essential, especially in those early years, and especially in that big white building on Smith Street, where the people were heard to ask, he wants to do what? Create a tourism mecca. Where? In the Blackstone Valley. Is he crazy? Yep. And whereas, after 40 years of listening to Bob's exuberance and passion for the Blackstone Valley, and taking in all of the BVTC's amazing projects, programs, and events that have brought thousands of people from around the world to the Blackstone Valley to enjoy the sights, learn the history, or taking a ride down the river on a steamboat, a dragon boat, a dinner boat, or a tour boat. No one questions Bob's sanity any longer. They simply say, if anyone can turn a crazy sounding idea into a wondrous reality, it's Bob Billington. So I'm ready to go visit Santa on the Blackstone Valley Polar Express with Conductor Bob. Yep, that's what they would say. And whereas, if you still don't understand what Bob means to the world of tourism, you can ask the World Travel and Tourism Council, the Society of American Travel Writers, the United Nations World Tourism Organization, and World Travel Awards. They can tell you. In fact, they already have with their awards and special designations. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor Donald R. Grebian and the Pawtucket City Council, on behalf of all our citizens, to hereby congratulate and thank Dr. Robert Billington for 40 terrific years, making the Blackstone Valley an important tourism stop in the state of Rhode Island as Executive Director of the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council, and wish him many years of good health and happiness in his retirement. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and seal this 22nd day of October, 2025, Donald R. Grebian, Mayor, Terrence E. Mercer, Council President.
We also, Bob, I'm not going to read it, but congratulate you on your retirement and recognize you for all of your hard commitment to your 40 years here. And Deb, good luck.
Thank you. Mr. President and members of the council, it's an honor just to be here. And Mr. Mayor, thank you. You know, when we started the council, it was started here in Pawtucket, and we had a small group called the Junior Chamber of Commerce, or the Pawtucket JCs. John Baxter, Chip Hoyas, all great people, all young people, knew that I wanted to start a tourism group to be able to promote Pawtucket and the entire Blackstone Valley. They made $300 one year on Oktoberfest. And that's what I needed to hire a lawyer and incorporate the council and get underway. Right now, the council has a budget quite a bit larger than that. We've sustained through thin and thin. But Pawtucket is the beginning of the council. We always kind of consider it the capital city, if there is one, for the Blackstone Valley. This would be the one. Henry Kinch, which I know you all know, Henry Kinch. I walked into his office one day with this, well, it wasn't a very readable plan, but it was a tourism plan. And I typed it out on a manual typewriter and brought it into Mayor Kinch's office because I wanted Mayor Kinch to support a tourism effort for Blackstone Valley. And to be honest, he couldn't really read it. It was just so unreadable and unprofessional. And I think his secretary was B, but I think it was B, but he turned to B and he said, B, type this up. And she took the entire plan, retyped it, gave it back to me a week later, and I had something substantial that I could then go to Central Falls and Cumberland and Lincoln. So the city of Pawtucket is where I grew up, where I was born at Memorial Hospital. It'll always be a special place for me. There's so much to do to bring the Blackstone Valley forward. I think we've accomplished half. I've been with the council for 40 years and working with factory outlets and organizing people and for 45 years. I think we're about halfway through where we need to be to get us to where we have that quality of life and quality of living and pride of place and that the Blackstone Valley deserves. We've been through a lot as the Blackstone Valley. We are, if you want to use the term, a powerful superpower today in the world because it started just a few feet from here at Slater Mill. So we paid our dues. It's time to rise up and organize and be treated the special way that that for the specialness that we've given to the world. So thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Wonderfully written, Rick. Thank you. Council, thank you. And there's so much more to be done. And I think Pawtucket's on the high road. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Bob. I think we all agree that you were the biggest cheerleader the Valley and specifically Pawtucket could have over the last 40 years. We appreciate all the hard work, all the enthusiasm. None of what has happened would have happened without your vision, your leadership. You know, I wrote down for a vision for the future, but it's also an appreciation for the past, right?
Yeah.
We got a national park now that we would not have had but for the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council and your leadership. So
Thank you, Mr. President.
we do all very much appreciate your hard work and we wish you the best in your retirement.
Lastly, probably should be firstly, I wouldn't be supported and be able to get up every day without my beautiful wife with me. So my wife, Deb, I have to give her a round of applause for.
Deb, you have to turn it one. There you go.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So from saying goodbye to saying hello to someone from the city. Our next pre-council agenda item is an introduction of our new human resources coordinator, Greg Anderson. Greg, could you come forward, please? How are you?
Good evening, President, council members. How are you tonight?
We are doing well, thank
Great.
you. We'd like to welcome you aboard. We do this so the council members can put a face to a name.
Absolutely.
So we know who we're seeing in City Hall or who we're calling and asking for some update. So it's good to have you here, but could you just give us a little bit of a background?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, thank you for having me here tonight. I very much
Sure.
appreciate that. So as you said, my name is Greg Anderson. I reside in the town of Richmond with my wife and son. Although I'm not a Pawtucket resident, I did live in Pawtucket for about 10 years, so it has a special place to me. My 20 through 30, so I did a lot of growing and really, like I said, Pawtucket's come a long way in these last 20 years. So I recently retired from the Postal Service. I did 20 years with the United States Postal Service. I started actually, I was a letter carrier on Montgomery Street. That's where I started my career in Pawtucket. So
Yep.
held a plethora of ranks. Postmaster. I was also did some labor relations for a while and spent my last few years in human resources. So that's really my love, human resources. I love dealing with people, love helping people. And so it's a position that really is something that I'm really looking forward to. 3 weeks and 3 days in, and so far so good.
So far, so good?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not running back to Richmond yet?
No. And I was driving to Fall River previous, so the traffic is much better coming this way as well.
Especially lately.
Yes. Over the last couple of years, it was a little trying going over the bridge every day. So
I can imagine.
Yep. So
Anybody
glad to be here.
Anybody have any questions for Greg? So again, it's usually a low threshold sort of
Sure.
thing. We just want to have somebody in and say hello, welcome you aboard. If you need anything from us,
Sure.
let us know.
I appreciate that. And likewise, if you need anything from me, please don't hesitate
You'll
to
hear
reach out.
from us.
Yeah, we have a real new staff over there, and we're eager to kind of change the face of the department down there. So looking forward to it.
Glad to hear it. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you very much.
Councilor Gregor.
Oh, yes, please.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you
I
very
just had a general question. Do you have any programs or any sort of ideas in mind in terms of improving diversity, inclusion, in terms of the hiring and such?
Yeah, so we're looking at all avenues right now. We're promoting all of our hiring and everything through the Indeed account. It's pretty much what we're doing right now, but we're we're open to all different types of folks to come in to work for the city. Obviously, we're a very diverse area around here, so looking forward to filling all the positions that we have coming up. We have a good amount of turnover coming over right now in a couple of different departments, so looking forward to getting a lot of different new people into the city that can help move forward to the next step. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
Nice to
Appreciate
meet
it. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, we are now up to public comment, but I understand there is nobody in person or nobody online for public comment, and it is at least 6:45, so it's 6:48. We can begin the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I will call the meeting to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Here.
Council Rujo,
Here.
Council Codere,
Here.
Council Gregor, Council Moran, Council Moreno.
Here.
Council Rubio, Council Stokoviac, Council Wildenhain.
Here.
7 in attendance.
Mr. President, I call for approval of the previous minutes from October 8th, 2025.
Moved by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Wildenhain, that approval be given to the minutes of, the minutes of the meeting of October 8th, 2025, as prepared by the clerk. Are there any concerns, amendments, deletions, additions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I call for approval of the consent agenda. That's item number 2 and item number 3, petition for licenses, starting with door-to-door employee license new renewal by Anderson of Southern New England and ending in peddler Janine Pauline Twyman. Call for approval.
Moved by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Moreno, that approval be given to items 2 and 3 to consent agenda and petitions for license. That would start with door-to-door employee license down through peddler license for Jenny Twyman. Any discussion on items 2 and 3? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4 is advertised for public hearing. Auto repair new. Gearhead Auto Repair. Jeffrey Duchamp. 544 Smithfield Avenue. License number AUT-25-9. Previously International Auto Repair Incorporated. My motion is to convene this public hearing.
Moved by Councilor Rujo, seconded by Councilor Stokoviac, that we convene a public hearing regarding an auto repair new license for Gearhead Auto Repair, Jeffrey Ducharme. 544 Smithfield Avenue will be license number AUT-25-9. This is previously International Auto Repair and Inc. Motion is declare the public hearing open. I will do so. Is the applicant here? You folks could come forward. I assume one of you is Jeffrey.
Yeah, I was dad.
Okay.
Kind of nervous, and I've seen him through this whole process. We've been lifelong city residents. I own a home in the city, graduated school in the city. We've been trying
Sir.
unsuccessful.
Would you just give your name and address?
So I'm sorry. My name's Wilfred Strong. His name is Jeffrey Duchamp.
Your name is Wilfred.
Wilfred Strong.
Spell your last name for me
STRU.
and your home address.
22 Pembroke Ave.
And that is in,
But
that's Pawtucket. And your name?
Jeffrey Duchamp.
And your address?
167 Menden Ave in Pawtucket.
Okay. We have Jeffrey Duchamp, 167 Menden Avenue, Pawtucket, and Wilfred Strunk, 22 Pembroke Avenue, Pawtucket.
Okay.
now, okay.
Jeffrey, welcome down. This is on Smithfield Avenue, which is Councilor Stokoviac's
Yeah.
area of the city. So I'm going to turn this over to her, and she's just going to have a few basic questions for you. Is that on it? Is the green light on?
Yes, yeah.
There you go.
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you?
Hello, you.
Good. We did have a chance to talk, but I just wanted to go over a couple of items for my colleagues to hear. This is actually the old Pawtucket fence building. Before that was also a mechanic shop, correct, Rick? So tell me a little bit about your experience as a mechanic.
So I've been working on cars for as long as I can remember. I've worked for numerous garages. This opportunity came to me that the building was available, and I just don't want to work for anybody anymore. I want to just better for me and my family. So I figured if I can open my own shop in the area that I'm from, where I was born and raised, that I don't know, I'm kind of nervous.
You're doing great.
We've been trying to do this for years unsuccessfully. We just couldn't find the right location in Pawtucket to do automotive repair is impossible unless you get that unicorn building, honestly. You know what I mean? You have to. So, we previously tried at 24 Lake Street, which used to be an auto body building, which we couldn't get zoned for automotive. So we gave up. We ended up going back to work for somebody at Dean Auto. So we started working there. This building came up, which still had all the old equipment in it. And it was that unicorn building in Pawtucket that we had to find, that we've been looking for 20 years. That somebody would say, okay, now we can go forward. We've been at City Hall. We've had problems with zoning over the past, with automotive and stuff. So when Melissa seen we was in this building, she was like so happy. She was like, oh my God, I think you guys might be onto something here. We finally found a building that I can approve, through zoning. There's other hurdles you'll have to go through, but this is just something, I went to school for automotive, I have an automotive degree. All my kids have been working on cars since they were younger. They all graduated out of Pawtucket. As you can see, he doesn't have a criminal record, or else he wouldn't even be in front of the list. You know what I mean? Like, they all grew up with structure. They all, they have families. They take care of their families.
Yep.
This is just something we're trying to do, for economic growth. Although we're not going to be hiring people, it's, it's, for his family, it's a family thing, just something we've been doing, a service we provided in the past, but just couldn't get to
Your own place. Yep.
So we're just trying to do everything right. We don't want to get in somewhere, like we showed it to City Halls and they're like, you got to get an LLC. We're like, great. We go down, we spend the $500. We get the LLC, we come back and they're like, well, that doesn't mean nothing. You should have. And we're like, what do you mean? And they're like, we're not giving out automotive repair. It's not like we just spent $500 and you might have wanted to say beforehand, okay, we didn't panic. We're like, what do we have to do?
Yep.
And, they were pretty nice, to be honest with you. They were great with us. They were like, listen, do this, this, and this.
Good.
Just follow the procedure and, let zoning go in, so that's where we're at.
So
Yeah.
they got you here tonight.
Right. So
Absolutely.
I've gotten this far. in
Yeah,
2
good.
years.
Well,
Yeah.
good. This is a good spot to be in. So, well, tell me a little bit about what your hours are going to be.
They're gonna be 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Yep.
Possibly maybe Saturday. Sunday absolutely closed.
Yep.
And
then, so this building has already a locked fence that comes across, and you're
Yes.
keeping that, correct?
yes,
Okay. And then you said no employees, you'll just be family. So I'm assuming obviously you, Jeffrey, and then dad
yes,
as well.
Yes, my
Okay.
father.
What was your plan for opening? Scheduled to open?
The second week in November, because I still have to get the sign guy over there and do a couple other things before the grand opening.
Okay. And we did talk earlier about some stipulations, making sure no work is getting done outside, keeping the lot
Yes.
clean. And I'm sure obviously the clerk's office has gone over the rest of it with you. I guess one thing we had talked about that I just want to reiterate, and I talked about that area and sort of being a wind tunnel, a lot of debris will build up on the street. That particular property, I said, sometimes has water that builds up right outside that fenced area
Yeah,
that will
you were
have,
saying that earlier.
yeah, that will have trash and stuff in it. And usually I will have to send the city because it's been vacant for a long time.
No, I want to keep the property as
Okay.
clean as possible.
That was
Yeah.
our biggest thing with this, too.
Yep.
Have you seen how nice the building is?
Yeah, I drove by. Yep.
It's a nice building.
Yeah.
Outside, you paint, that's our biggest thing, is keeping it clean, because people see a clean place, they want to come in.
Presentation is key to success.
Yeah.
If they come in, it's a
Yep.
dirty, ran down building. No one's gonna want to go there.
Perfect.
Like, this is life changing for me.
Yeah. And everybody on the council here is very supportive of small business owners, and we just want really respectful community business owners. And I let you know that my brother is also a mechanic, so in Pawtucket, not far from you. So
Yeah.
I'm very supportive of this. And then hopefully everything goes well after this for you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
I just want to say good luck. I love to see 2 generations of Pawtucket folks reinvesting into the city.
Thank you.
so
Yeah, very
Our
cute.
family has been working on cars. My uncle Bob Burt, I don't know if anybody's from this city for a long time, but he's lifelong city resident. He's old and gone by now. Worked on cars our whole life. Rogers Golf on Broad Street back in the fifties. That was my family's garage. I mean, that's all our family's ever done is automotive.
Yeah, we definitely wish you luck.
Yes, and we can sense the excitement
Mhm.
that you have. So,
Yes, definitely.
just one point of clarification. They said it was tough to find a spot and find a location.
Yep.
This is my term grandfathered in because it at one time was used as an automotive repair facility, right?
Yeah, the two requirements is it has to have been used.
Yep.
And then it has to be eligible to, you have to be able to go in and start working there right away without making any alterations. So it has to be all the equipment.
Has
Right.
the lift
And we
and all
heard,
that.
we heard that's the
Yep.
case. So I just want to, because sometimes people ask, well, how come that was easier and that wasn't? You fit both of those criteria.
right, right.
That's why I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that has any other questions? In that case, is there anybody else here to speak on this matter in this public hearing? Gotcha.
That's my older brother over there.
There you go. Anybody online?
If anybody is currently waiting online to speak on this public hearing, can you please press the raise hand button at this time? Okay, and I see no hands. being
In that
raised.
case, I am going to declare the public hearing closed and entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I will move to approve this license. Second.
Been moved by Councilor Stakoviak, seconded by Councilor Rougeau, Councilor Codier, and Councilor Moreno. That approval be given to this application of Gearhead Auto Repair, 544 Smithfield Avenue, license number AUT-25-9. The motion is to approve. Is there any discussion? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good luck.
Congratulations. Good luck, gentlemen.
You
Yeah.
too. Okay, item number 5. is the- was that just, okay. Item number 5, petition for license, entertainment and class F1 full privilege petition of Burbage Theater Company for license to have a Little MX Burbage Halloween and to sell alcoholic beverages at 59 Blackstone Avenue on Friday, October 31st, 2025, from 9 p.m. until 12 a.m. License number EBT 25-78. Motion is to approve.
So moved by Councilor Aruja, second by Councilor Codier, that a petition for license for an entertainment in class F1 full privilege, a petition of Burbage Theater Company for a license to have a Little Memex Burbage Halloween and to sell alcoholic beverages at 59 Blackstone Avenue on Friday, October 31st, 2025, from 9 p.m. until till midnight. It will be license number EBT-25-78. The motion is to approve. Is there any discussion on that motion? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, and item number 6 is a petition for license, entertainment and class F beer and wine, a petition of St. John Paul II Parish for a license to have a parish feast and stewardship fair and to sell beer and wine at 745 Central Avenue on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. License number EBT-25-77. Motion to take up.
Second. Been moved by Councilor Rougeau, second by Councilor Codier. Councilor Wildenhain. That we take up a petition for license for entertainment and class F beer and wine. It's a petition of St. John Paul II Parish for a license of a parish feast and stewardship fair and to sell beer and wine at 745 Central Avenue on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. It would be license number EBT-25-77. Councilor, I know you have your hand up.
Yeah, I'm just going to recuse myself. That's my parish, so.
I don't think you need to, but if you feel the need to, that's okay. And that you consider it that we're not gonna have, I don't think, any discussion anyway. Is there any further discussion on this petition for a license? In that case, I will entertain a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Wildenhain, second by Councilor Aruja, that approval be given to the petition of St. John Paul II Parish for a license to have a parish fest and stewardship fair and sell beer and wine at 745 Central Avenue, Saturday, October 25th, from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. The motion is to approve. Is there any discussion? In that case, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. See, you didn't have to do any exercise.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I make a motion that we adjourn and reconvene as the Pawtucket City Council.
Been
Second.
moved that by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Codere, that we adjourn as the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners and convene as Pawtucket City Council. Before we do, I ask that everybody stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, started by Councilor Moreno.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Pawtucket City Council meeting will come to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Here.
Councilor Russo.
Yeah.
Codere.
Here.
Councilor Gregor. Here. Councilor Moran. Councilor Moreno.
Here.
Councilor Rubio. Councilor Scoviac.
Item 3.
Here.
Councilor Wildenhain.
Here.
7 in attendance.
Mr. President, I call for approval of item number 1, which is the previous minutes of October 8, 2025 of the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits, as well as the City Council.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Wildenhain, that approval be given to the minutes of the October 8th meeting of the Committee on Claims and Pending Suit and the City Council. Are there any concerns, amendments, deletions, additions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I call for approval of item number 2, which is the consent agenda and correspondence.
Been moved by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Moreno, that approval be given to item 2, the consent agenda and correspondence. Are there any items the members would like to discuss? Councilor Wildenhain.
C.
Anybody else, Councilor? J. Anybody on this side? Okay, in that case, all in favor of approval of the consent agenda and correspondence, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Okay, alphabetically, the first one, Councilor Wildenhain.
Thank you, Council President. Item C is a letter from Jill Olson Crowley, the clerk for the Pawtucket School Committee, and it's a bi-monthly new high school construction report. I've said this in the past, and I want to reiterate it, that I really do appreciate this report from Ms. Crowley, that she sends it over to us so that we can view how much they've spent to date on the project and how much is left to spend on the project. One of the things that I see here that concern me is the budget status. And it says that at the present time, the costs are tracking about 4.3% over on construction and 3.7 overall on the budget, that they're over budget. I just would like to caution the committee that, you know, as a member of the purchasing board, I served on the purchasing board for this council. And a lot of the times when we turn around and look at a project that comes before us, it's bid on by the lowest bidder. And then in that turn, through the sessions, they'll come back to you and there's a change order, and they put the change order in and say that, you know, we didn't foresee this and we got to put this in now. And then we've got another change order come in. And we've seen 3 or 4 change orders come in with contractors sometimes. And it really undermines the procedure that you're bidding this thing out and it's going to the lowest bidder, but yet after the change orders get through, you might not find them to be the lowest bidder anymore. So that's a concern for me, especially when it looks like another body is taking on the same type of procedure, that they contracted this work out. They presented something to the committee. They presented something to the administration. They probably presented it to the constituents too, and told them this is what we're going to get. But then in the end result, what we see and what we have seen in the past is, and I've heard projects that they've taken on, been $10 million over budget, and they got to figure out a way to cut the budget. And that just ends up giving people a substandard project. We've seen it time and time again over on that side.
We built a new school at Winters, and then it was held up by 2 months before the kids could even get in because of problems with a coil or something else that maybe they didn't foresee. But it just, again, it's things that concern me that I've heard they're going to happen with the new high school. You know, we got a $330 million project that they're taking on and we're paying for with taxpayer money. And we look at, and I look at it especially, we see the project that they've had in East Providence and the type of school that they can give the children, and we think that they fully deserve it. So we have an example. We have people that we can go to, ask for advice. I've said time and time again, Secretary of State, Greg Amore, Secretary of State. He designed the ball field over there and would help them turn around and get to the proper people to make sure it comes in place. And even with discussions with the mayor in some instances, that in these type of things that are happening, to make sure that we give them a quality product, if things needed to be talked and retalked again with the council and with the administration, then those discussions should happen. I've seen it too often now, especially in these school projects where we spend millions of dollars and then within a year or two, we're going back and spending millions of dollars again and again, when things should have been done right the first time. Repointing windows at Potter. I still hear about systems not working at Winters and now even Baldwin. You know, they've got their share of problems. I understand every project sometimes has a hiccup, but they promised you something, then you should hold their feet to the fire and make sure they give you the product that they said that they were going to give you, instead of excuses why they cannot turn around and meet the budget, or they have to cut something out and give you a less, or give the children a lesser product. So I just have those concerns for the committee, that I would hope that they would listen to other people that do this type of stuff. Like I said, I've been on the purchasing board now for probably over 10 years. And with my colleagues, we take on stuff all the time. We had the administration submit a proposal for $145,000 to design lights underneath the Exchange Street Bridge. Myself and my colleagues on the board thought it was a waste of money. And that was only to design, not to install. It doesn't include the construction. You can believe that the people on that committee are responsible with taxpayer dollars, that when we hear something that doesn't sound like it makes any sense, then we don't allow it to happen. So I would just caution them to be the same way and hold their contractors to the due diligence and their feet to the fire to make sure that they're getting the product that they bargained for in the initial stage. Thank you.
Anybody else in that item? I'll just piggyback on that a little bit, Counselor. You hit the nail on the head. You know, you kind of juxtaposition between purchasing board and school construction. It's not about necessarily saving money. The formula from RIDE pencils out to $330 million. It's going to be $330 million. You know, Mike, you can probably speak to that, but it's going to be 300. So if it's going to be more than 330, it's not a matter of saving money. It's a matter of what gets cut, what gets revised.
Exactly.
And it is a lesser product. You said that once or twice. So it's less about the school department and the school committee as much as it is about those two entities staying on top of their project manager and their construction companies to make sure they deliver what we were promised for the amount we were told we could get it for. That's where the difference is, but I appreciate you bringing it up, and it's really a matter of riding the project manager and construction, if I have the correct terms.
Yes, if I may
go
add to
Sure.
that. So basically, if it's approved for 326,187,000, that 3.7% equals about $12 million over budget right now. So they would have to try to find a way to cut whatever the project is by that amount of money. If I am correct, anything above and beyond that 326 that was approved would be 100% paid by the city, and that wouldn't be eligible for reimbursement. because the bond, if I'm correct, is approved for this 326, 187. So yeah, they're already looking at 3.7. They're gonna have to make some changes, and you lose. It happened. I've seen it happen. I believe it was with maybe part of Burns where they had to change some stuff around because after a certain amount of time, things go up, and you have to pivot. And you're approved for this amount, you can't go over that amount. Otherwise, you have full 100%. It's on you, whatever you go above and beyond. So
Right. Counselor?
Also, just wanted to add to this. I mean, I agree with Councilor Villahein and everybody in regards to the costs, because I mean that's the whole point here, is that if you take on a contract that you're going to do it and do X, Y, and Z, you should do X, Y, and Z without cutting things out and leaving the children. Because that's what they did at Baldwin. Because I went to one of the school committees, and there was several things. They supposed to have a full functioning kitchen for the children, which I thought was really important for them to do, like home ec and actually learn some skills. Instead, turned into a warming kitchen. I mean, those things are not, to me, I don't think are acceptable. They call them engineering savings or design, whatever fancy word they wish to use, but essentially what it is, you're taking away from the children, and you're not doing what you expect it to be doing for the money you agreed to do it for. So and I hope that's not going to be the case with, I mean, they're still doing excavation, and they're looking at 3.7 over the overall project budget. I mean, we're just starting. What's going to happen in a couple of months? 10, 20%? I mean,
I think that's Councilor Wildenhain's overall point. But the difference with school construction and reimbursement wasn't, if there was no reimbursement, it really wouldn't matter, right? You correct me if I'm wrong, having been the chair of the school committee, but it's essentially a per dollar, per square foot, per student formula that comes up with how much they are willing to pay for it. So it's maxed out at that very top, 330 million and $128,000.
326, 188 is the approved budget.
So things do go up, right? It's going to take us 4 years to build a school. They are going to go up. So some things are going to have to be changed, but the more you stay on top of costs and cost overruns and keeping them from drastically altering what this city envisioned for this transformational high school, whether it's cafeteria shrinking or, no softball field or whatever the case may be, that's what happens, right? It's still going to be 330. It's just, you may not get what you expected for your 330. And if we wanted to do something above that, if we want to say, hey, we'll go out and bond another 5 million, then there is no reimbursement. That's 5 million on us with carrying costs and principal and interest for 20 years. So that's why everybody has to stay on top of things. I was going to say this a little bit later. I might as well say it now. I think everybody, us included, everybody gets desensitized to the word million. We talk about $330 million. We talk about $120 million. We talk about $70 million, $1.1 million, whatever it happens to be. When we get the budget from the mayor, or we get the budget request through the mayor from the city council, from the school committee, it's, hey, we need another 3.3 million. It's a big number, and when you add digits in front of it, it gets to be a much bigger number. We are the ones who have to stay on top of what we are doing with taxpayer money. It's as simple as that, but that's the office we ran for, right? That's our primary responsibility. So, yes.
I want to add just one more thing. And one of my concerns is when I've attended a school committee meeting regarding construction costs and such, it looks like the project managers would be looking at the subcontractors and so forth to reduce prices on here and there on the work. However, these same entities, Collier, Shaw, and everybody are the ones that continue to be making a lot of money doing all these school constructions. And yet I don't see where they're saying, well, it's the cost is being over on my construction. Let me reduce our fees that you're receiving. Well, I mean, those are the sort of things I like to see.
Fortunately, we don't have control over that. Yeah. And we're the ones who have to fund it, but we don't have control over it. So that's what it boils down to. On another, I'm going to take item D, which is just a communication from Randy Buck, the interim superintendent of schools, with a quarterly update regarding the $500,000 grant we put in the budget for the school department this year. There's not much quite to report just yet. I think they're gearing up to spend a good amount of that. And they'll report, but at least it was a diligent effort to get it to us on this time. And he said he looks forward to being as transparent as possible with it. So we just want to say we definitely appreciate that attitude. And then that's item J, Counselor.
Yes, Council President, thank you. Item J is a communication from Tracy Giron, the Director of Administration, to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council in reference to a on hang up 8 so as I'm seeing in the communication and in the Breeze article from earlier today, we all saw that a few of the cities stakeholders had a comprehensive financial review in response to a few of the certain fiscal realities that are currently happening. So I'd only ask that the same comprehensive review is brought to the council as a whole, and if I could, if we could have it or the upcoming council meeting.
Absolutely. That's a motion. Yes.
Yeah.
So the move by Counselor Moreno, second by, who was that? Counselor Wildenhain, Counselor Ruggiero, that a motion from the counselor, that we ask the administration to bring in the city's fiscal advisors on these matters, on bonding matters, on construction matters, at the next meeting, which would be the first meeting of November, which I believe is the 5th, if I'm not mistaken. If you guys could work diligently to make sure we can confirm availability. If not, we could have a special meeting if that works better. Counselor, you're looking at me. Are you here for the?
I'll be back on the 5th. I get back on the 4th.
Okay.
So if it's before the 4th, I won't be here.
Yeah, you wanted that, right? So aren't you?
On what is it, the 4th or the 5th? So you'll be here. And
I'll
you
be
wanted
here.
it on the 5th, yes?
The second meeting of November, maybe?
I won't be here for the second meeting of November. Can we
Finally,
confirm the availability? You will not be here for the next meeting, which is the 5th. So if we split the difference and make it the 12th,
Special meeting?
a special meeting on the following, that doesn't work for,
That's fine.
that doesn't work for you, Councilor Stagovic, or not?
No, I actually won't be here the actual meeting. I'll be in Oregon the 19th.
So she'll be here for the 12th. the
Right.
special
Yeah, I'll
meeting.
be here for the 12th. I could be here for the
Does the
12th.
12th work for everyone? Not for you, Counselor? Okay, the 12th won't work.
I am.
Okay. Um,
Can, do
Well,
we have an
it could-
appetite to
it
move
could
the
be-
19th meeting to another date? Can we do that? Would can't. Schedule.
yeah, so why don't we ask if the 11th or the 12th would work. And we could hold it, we're not obligated to have it on a Wednesday. We could have it on the 12th. Tell you what, the 10th, 11th, or 12th.
11th, yeah, 11th
Oh.
is Veterans Day.
All right, so how about the 10th or the 12th? If that works, and then we will just have a special,
What's
that-
special?
a special meeting solely for that presentation.
Is the 10th a Sunday?
No, it's a Monday.
Monday.
Because Veterans Day's on a Tuesday.
Is it? Okay.
I believe so.
Day's on the real day. It's not a Monday holiday.
Yeah,
All right.
so
Okay,
the 10th or the 12th, if we could do that.
You know, I kind of like that idea better. So it's just focused on that.
Yes. So that will be the goal. And then just to piggyback on, so Errol, all in favor of that? Well, it's not really. We're giving you, Elizabeth, a task. So if you could find that, get back to me as quickly as you can at the clerk's office, and then we will set that either of those dates. Thank you. Just in taking up the same correspondence from the Director of Administration, you know, it's a very optimistic letter. We all welcome optimism. It also says the group that they're the kind of a task force that they're joint working group. The group will develop a long-term facilities plan that coordinates our educational priorities with sustainable financial planning. I just want to point out that going back to my very first year on the council, in November of 2013, we received a letter from then Superintendent Deborah Silke, which she was pleased and proud to present us with a 20-page or 25-page facilities master plan, which set their goals for the upcoming 8 or 9 years in two phase projects. They prioritized what they were going to do. There was just one school that was going to be rebuilt, just one school. It was Winters. That was at the top of the list. It ended up being bumped down because we had ceilings falling in at Potter Burns and at Nat Green. There was it was a very ambitious project because this was presented to us in November of 13, and they suggested that we would have built a brand new consolidated high school where Jenks is right now, and then eventually have torn down apparently Agnes Little, which was nowhere on there to be replaced, and then turn Shea into the new Jenks as a middle school. So we would still have a Goff, a Jenks, and a Slater.
Slater. It would be Slater.
No,
It
it
no.
says it was
It was
new
gonna-
Jenks, 'cause Slater was staying.
Wow. Okay.
So, but things did change. So
Huh.
my point for saying this is that was November of 13. A few months later, we passed a resolution in February of 14 supporting, the council supported this plan and agreed to move forward with bonding questions for the voters. That were going to result in about $56 million. Again, there's the million, the word million. But the resolution said the council here does hereby support the Pawtucket School Department's facilities master plan with phase 1 not to exceed $32 million. And with the understanding that the plan will be reviewed and updated yearly by the Pawtucket Schools Facilities Committee with all revisions and funding requests presented to the city council for their approval. This was the first one. This is the only one we got in the last 12 years when it was supposed to be updated annually. I do know they updated, right? Because they pivoted and we went, instead of right to Winters, we went to Potter Burns and Nat Green, and we did some things after the 2018 bond at the two current high schools. we understood it was going to be a working project. But over the years, in 2015, we approved floating $32 million in bonds. 2 years, that was for phase one. 2 years later for phase two, it was 24. 2 years later in 2019, up to $220 million. And then in 2022, another one for up to $330 million. So if you take today's Breeze story and you take the director's letter today, it just spells out that there is a process that has to be undertaken. It also has to be undertaken so that we can present it to RIDE. We just can't run around saying we're going to do this. So I'm encouraged that the task force will be looking at the same things that they were supposed to be giving us annually. It's not that it does say our approval and a funding request for our approval, but what it suggests is that they will do their due diligence to come to us with, hey, I know we said A, but we really got to do B first, or whatever the case may be. So that's all I want to say about that, is that Pawtucket, as I've said all along, has been the vanguard over the last 10 or 12 years in school construction in this city. And RIDE regularly applauds us for that. I think the voters and the residents, and specifically the taxpayers, applaud us for doing it in a very fiscally responsible manner. And it's just all I wanted to say about this. But I've been doing my homework going back to my very first year on the council and how we got here. And I think how we got here is where we are is good, right? We've told the taxpayers this is what we need to do. I said it to somebody in a meeting not too long ago that since I've been on the council, we have had to make some really important and really hard decisions fiscally over the years that weren't real popular, which made them not real easy. It was what we were going to do with the pension system, right? We had to make some tough decisions relative to our pensioners, and we had to make some tough decisions about OPB and everything else that we had to continually put millions more in the budget to get us to sustainability. There was what to do about City Hall. There was buying this building. We've made some tough decisions to the benefit of the taxpayers, but decisions that really had to be made. Nobody was happy about any of the aspects of the pension reform. The firefighters, the police officers, they weren't happy. The ones who'd already retired, they weren't happy. The taxpayers weren't happy that every year we were going up by $1 million or $2 million in our operating budget to contribute to the pension system because it was 40% funded or 30% funded. So we've made a lot of really difficult decisions. We made the decision in 2018 and again in 2022 to tell the taxpayers, you can trust us. We are not going to put the city in financial harm, and we can do this together and completely reimagine the school district here. We've gotten this far, doing it correctly. Can we go a little bit further? Perhaps at some point. We'll find out from the financial advisor in a couple of weeks. But from numbers I've seen, it is just not likely right this minute. And if it were, it still isn't going to fix things overnight. So we need to work together, and we need to consider the taxpayers, and we need to consider that the word million is not just another word. Councilor Wilderney.
Yeah, Council President, I'd be amiss if I didn't say something to that point, because it happened just tonight before I came to this meeting. Like you said, over the years, we've had to make a lot of tough decisions. And the one thing that I have always held close to me is that the taxpayers have to make those tough decisions too. And they've put us in the position to make sure that it makes their lives a little bit easier. And we tried to do that responsibly. I had a woman on the phone tonight talking to me about reevaluation, what it's going to cost her, and whether or not she's going to be able to stay in the city under the current structure of the tax system that she won't be afford. I worry about people like her. I worry about the 85-year-old people that are living on Social Security and that are told to absorb a 6.3% tax increase when other people say, hey, I got a wish list, just fill out a check and do it. That happens at a cost, and the cost is going to come from the taxpayers. And there's not a lot of taxpayers in this city that can afford to absorb those costs anymore unless we do it responsibly. And I applaud us for doing it as responsibly as we have done, because like you said, we've made tough decisions, not popular ones, but tough ones over the years. Not everybody's liked it, but we said this is in the best interest of the city and it'll move us forward. And we did what we thought was responsible. That's what we continue to do here from these seats, is to do what we think is responsible. And I'll continue to do that as long as I'm sitting here. So, as you said in the past, we turned around and did a historical tax increase the first time that in your term on the council, mine too, and will not do it again. And I want to keep to that. So when people ask us for revenue or money, and then we have to go back to the taxpayers, I want to make sure it's at the bare minimum so they can stay in their house and we're not attaching something to them, making their life more difficult.
Just one last thing, unless somebody else has anything they want to say, but you mentioned we are a distressed community, and I don't think anybody really gets what that definition really is. Doesn't mean we're poor. Doesn't mean we're stupid or uneducated. It literally means we are taxed to the max. That's what the definition of a distressed community. We can't do much more with our taxes. That's what it means. That's why we get a little bit additional from the state in state aid, because we are distressed. It doesn't mean it. You can think about it that we're distressed and that things are falling down, but that's not the definition. The definition is that we are taxed to the max, and you don't get designated as a distressed community until that is the reality, that you're taxed to the max. So when we say those words, I just hope that people understand that distressed isn't just a term. It's a definable term relative to state aid and other things. And it means that we are taxed to the max. Doesn't mean we're an awful community. Doesn't mean we're poor. Doesn't mean we're uneducated. It is a fiscally defined term. So, and it benefits us, but I'd rather we not be in that predicament of having to benefit from being distressed. But I just want to get out there that is essentially the definition. So, do you have anything, Council?
Not on this topic, no.
Okay.
Did we vote? We voted on that?
No,
Do we need one?
For the what?
Yeah, it was in the form of a motion, but I think we're giving options.
Okay.
So,
Okay, good. All right.
The Deputy Director of Administration is here, and she, I think, knows what it is we're looking for. So, are we good without a vote on that?
Yeah, you don't need to have motion to call for a meeting.
Yeah.
Good. All right,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay, in that case, before we take item 3, Councilor Kukoviac.
Mr. President, can I make a motion to amend the agenda to introduce an item and refer it to a committee?
Yes, it's been moved by Councilor Stakoviak, second by Councilor Moreno, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing a matter to go to the property committee. All in favor of amending the agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now,
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to introduce an item from our mayor, Donald R. Grebian, to be referred to the property committee. Do I have to describe the item? Yes. It is going to be, it's a memo with an attached tri-party agreement between the city of Pawtucket, Fortuitous, Tidewater, and Penrose LLC for the review and consideration of the property committee and the city council.
in that case, it's been moved by Councilor Stacoviak, second by Councilor Moreno, that a tri-party agreement between the city, Gratuitous Tidewater, OZ, and Penrose LLC to be referred to the property committee. Did you have a date as the chair that you wanted to have that on?
I just will not be here the 19th. So
I think they're in a rush to, they
Alright,
need
so
to
the
get
fifth-
this before the
Yeah,
end of the year, so we can do it. for
Alright,
next
so
meeting.
yeah, the next meeting's
The next
totally
meeting
fine.
is fine with
Yep.
you. I wasn't sure which date you weren't going to be. there.
Yep.
So it's been moved that it be introduced and referred to the property committee, and the property committee chair will get with the clerk's office about scheduling a meeting as soon as possible. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 3.
Item 3 is a resolution congratulating and thanking Dr. Robert Billington for 40 years of service to the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council and wishing him a happy retirement. My motion is to approve on a roll call vote.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Russo, seconded by the entire Pawtucket City Council, that a resolution congratulating and thanking Dr. Robert Billington for 40 years of service to the Blackstone Valley Tourism Council and wishing him a happy retirement be approved on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? In that case, the clerk will call a roll, please.
President Mercer,
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere,
Yes.
Council Gregor. Council Moreno. Council Stacoviak,
Yes.
Council Wildenhain.
Yes.
7-0.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket City Council. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Moved by Councilor Russo, seconded by Councilor Willenhand, that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.